Hey guys, welcome to Video Game Music Composition. In this video series, I'll be exploring some of the works that I've created already, and I'll be going through some of the stuff that I'm doing within the project to show you guys how to replicate some of the sounds that I'm doing. In this project, we'll be looking at the song Peregrinus that I recently put out on SoundCloud. This piece is inspired by Nier Automata and Dark Souls, and a lot of those epic video game soundtracks. So let's take a quick listen to the beginning here. Now we're going to focus on the drums today, just the percussions. First thing I want to quickly start off with is this reverse drum here. This was actually inspired by Nier Automata's music, The Dark Tower. The dynamic version has this really awesome drum going in. That sound, I heard that and I really wanted to learn how to replicate that sound. Turns out it's very easy to do. You take your MIDI keyboard, you select Godzilla Hits. By the way, if you don't know what sample library I'm using the Storm Drum from East West primarily. East West is really cheap for students. It's only $15 per month. You get the bang for your buck. So Storm Drum, you could go to your Zen drums and click on Godzilla Hits. This one has really powerful sounds. So let's just take a sound like that. After you've recorded it, bounce it in place. Then solo this track. Go to region and click on reverse. Now listen to what it sounds like. It's got this really long reversed build-up that we want to use in a powerful way. So we're going to cut away the beginning of it and fade it out. Actually fade it in so that you could hear it in a shorter cooldown. Now obviously this is a little bit too long for our taste, so you could even cut it down to just the right amount that you want to use. Make sure to zoom in and use the fade out tool generously. The volume of this might be a little bit too loud when you bounce it, so let's lower it. And keep in mind that this is the point of the downbeat, and on the downbeat our actual percussion noise will be playing the downbeat. When that's happening, both sounds are going to actually collide with each other, and it's going to create a very, very loud noise. We don't want that to happen, so instead what we're going to do is just before when it hits the downbeat, I'm going to actually lower the volume by this much. I'm going to unmute this track by pressing Control M and turn off the solo, and now I'm just going to solo these two. Let's hear it. Just adjust the volume a little bit. And there you have it, a really powerful reverse drum that you can use pretty much on the first and the third beats whenever you want to. Next thing I want to talk about is how frequent and busy your drum tracks should be. So in a lot of battle musics and epic orchestral music, one of the approaches that I take is the lower the frequency, the less busy it should be. What I mean by that is by taking a look at all these low frequency drums here, these really long, loud Hits, I only let them play on the downbeat of 1, pretty much measure 1 actually. Then the ones that are a little bit medium frequency, such as the taikos, they get a little bit more room to play a lot of these notes here. They're still accentuating the first and the third beats because those are the strongest beats. Finally, I have these wood noises. These guys are like the ticking time bomb in the back of the music, and it really keeps this tension and action going throughout the piece. Without it, that's actually the intro. I just don't have the ticking time bomb in the intro, and I let it introduce itself on verse 1. Another interesting thing to keep in mind is you want to pan it out just right. This one layer of wood noises, I'm panning it to the left by 24 degrees. And these wood slaps, I'm letting it panning out to the right by 24 degrees. What that does is creating this bouncing noise from left to right, creating that sonic interest in the listener's ears. One last thing I want to let you guys know about is this sustain symbol that you could use. As you can see, sustain symbols are crucial when it comes to letting the player know or letting the listener know that an important verse is happening or a transition from one song to another is happening. So I'm just going to play all these things here together. That timing is really hard to get at first, but the more you play around with it, the better you will get that timing. This 17 is actually the downbeat, but I'm letting the sustain symbol play slightly before that. Well, that's it for this video. Tomorrow we'll be going over the strings and what I like to do with the strings to keep the action going on.